We're finally back at a racetrack, guys. We've been rained out, I think, past 7 or 8 races in a row. We've been rained out, so very excited to be back at the track. We haven't raced in a month due to all the weather, so been missing out on some racing, which is unfortunate, but we're all ready to go here. We're at the Davenport Speedway in Davenport, Iowa, with the Sprint Invaders Series. We're going to race tonight up here in Iowa, and then we're going to drive down to Kentucky to race with the ASCS National Tour Saturday. And then if all goes well, we'll drive back home and race about an hour away from where I live. So got a busy weekend. We've been missing out on some racing, so we want to get back going and get some good finishes. So track is pretty small. It's kind of a round shape, so it's going to be pretty fast. Track looks pretty good. It looks kind of dry. You can kind of see that there's not much water on it, but it feels pretty wet, so hopefully it won't be hopefully it'll be a good track surface. But we got some banking down into turns 3 and 4 here, which is good. So pretty flat on the bottom of the track, but cool place here, fairgrounds. So they actually have, this is like a quarter-mile track. It's inside of a big half-mile. So they used to run sprint cars. You can see the checkered wall back there. They used to race sprint cars on the half-mile track, but they built this small track, and they've ran sprint cars here, midgets here, late models, all sorts of different classes. So looking forward to tonight. We'll have engine heat, hot laps, a heat race, and then we will, depending on how we do in our heat race, that'll set us up for later on in the night. So I drew a low pill number, so it should start up front in our heat race, and we gotta stay there and try to advance if we can. So track looks good, new track for us, so hopefully we can hit the setup as soon as possible and get some good laps together and get some momentum going throughout the night and have a good finish. Final adjustments for the A main. We felt decent in hot laps, but not as good as I would have liked. We weren't far off on the lap times, but we weren't quite where we needed to be. So we adjusted the car for the heat race, started 4th in the heat race, got a good start. I think if I could have entered in turn 1 a little bit better and exited through the center and off turn 2 better, I think I maybe could have got closer to the 2nd place car. I don't know if I would have been able to pass him just because of how the track was. It was top dominant and it was slick to a big cushion, rough cushion. So car was pretty violent to drive, but it had a lot of grip and bite. So felt okay, but not quite where we needed to be still. So track is getting slicker, but staying kind of rough and choppy. They got quite a few modified cars, and so they're kind of roughing up the track for the sprint cars. But we got 2 features before our feature. The track will hopefully widen out and it'll get slick, and hopefully it'll be pretty racy, and maybe the bottom can come in and we can have 2 groups. But I don't know where we'll start, probably around 10th. We had a good heat race, but there was quite a few other cars that passed and gained more positions. So we're just going to see where we fall, try to advance, and if we can come home with the top 5 or a podium, I think that'd be a great night. So we're just going to get a good start in the feature and charge to the front. Coming to the end of the feature here at the Davenport Speedway. Started 10th, was up to 7th at one point, just kind of stayed around the 7th, 8th, 9th position throughout the feature. Felt like I had a good line. Was really happy with how my car was handling. Have really enjoyed this racetrack. It was new for us and it was very racy. I got passed on the outside of turn 3 and 4, and that's when I moved up here. I was a little late to getting to the rubber. Started a rubber here on the top of 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Once I adjusted my line and got up to the top in 3 and 4, we were really fast. So had a good finish here. Last couple laps were pretty good. In the end, though, we came home 9th. Solid finish. We learned a lot with the car. Really enjoyed this racetrack. Hopefully we can come back to Davenport sometime in the future, and we will move on to tomorrow where we race at the Paducah International Raceway in Paducah, Kentucky. We have finally made it to the Paducah International Raceway down here in Paducah, Kentucky. We've been busy all day maintaining and servicing the car. The car we ran last night at Davenport isn't the car that we're actually running tonight. We're running a different car. So we've been busy maintaining the car we ran last night and also getting the other car ready that we're going to run tonight. So this track is crazy. The banking is insane. It reminds me a lot of Salina. We were there about a month ago. I feel like this place is, the straightaways are maybe a little bit longer, but the corners are much tighter. But dirt looks pretty kind of sandy, so I doubt that it'll hold a lot of moisture. You just never know. But looking forward to tonight. We're going to have engine heat, hot laps, and we're going to have group qualifying. And however we do in our group qualifying will set us up for a heat race. And then however we do in our heat race will set us up for later in the night. So I don't know if there'll be a B main or not, but it looks like there'll be about 20 cars in the pit area, so I doubt there will be. But this track has a lot of banking. Definitely gonna have to get up on the wheel, and hopefully we can have a good night.
Hit the road all year with us. We talked about Garrett Benson with Jim Childers here a moment ago during the open of our broadcast. He drives that 2B on the racetrack out of Concordia, Missouri. Porter Steel Buildings, quality traffic control, shore-built suspension, Don's diesel heavy-duty engine kits, Helt Turf Farms, Kaiser Wheels, Engler. A lot of support, a lot of people pulling for Garrett Benson. He's joined on the racetrack by the 2B of Garrett Benson from Concordia, Missouri. Porter Steel Buildings, quality traffic control, and shore-built suspension on board the 2B with Engler support. 14 years old, driving the 2B. So these two cars will take the green flag here on the warm-up lap. The final two cars for Group 2. It's either going to be Blake Hahn or one of these two that sets the time at the top of Group 2. Matt Covington, second, 14.215. Benson takes over second with the 14.154. Hahn has the quick time in the group, 14.052. Will it hold? Covington back to second, the 14.1. And Benson will stay third with the 14.1 as well. 14.154 for Benson. Covington a 14.412. Hahn the 14.052.
Getting ready to strap in for our heat race. We timed in third out of the cars in our heat race during qualifying, so that's going to put us start outside front row, second in the heat race. So we need to get a good start and get going, get some momentum going down the front stretch and into turn 1. So this place is a lot of fun. Really enjoying the track, and we can have a solid finish in this heat race, and that can line us up good for the 8-main.
Covington and Benson. Heat race winner. We'll go to the Honest Abe Roofing Dash. Blake Hahn could get the pass to that dash without winning, as long as he finishes in the top 5. A green flag. Ooh, a lot of sparks out of the 31. Casey Wills off his brakes when he went down towards turn number 1. See if he can hold that car together here. The teenager out of Concordia, Missouri, out to the lead over the veteran Matt Covington. Garrett Benson. Really holding steady right now in front of Covington. Blake Hahn getting a little high in turns 1 and 2, trying to feel it out, see if he can build some momentum in the yellow car. Meanwhile, the 95 closing in on Garrett Benson. Halfway home here in the heat race. Covington was there. Lost a couple of car lengths off of turn 2. To go here in heat race number 2. Problems for the leader. He's off the pace. Garrett Benson has lost power. He's into the infield. You see him frustrated there. Slaps the side of the car. White flag.
Well, we have made it back home here. I just want to fill you guys in on what happened at Paducah, why I pulled in, why we did not run the feature, and why we came home early. So, had a good hot laps. Good qualifying where we were adjusting the car. I was getting comfortable to the track, very fast and high banked, so that was something new to get used to. We qualified good with our qualifying. That put us starting second in the heat race. Got a good jump on the start of the heat race. Was leading the heat race, making some good laps. Made a couple mistakes about halfway throughout the heat race. Cleaned those up and had some really good laps going. I was getting ready to take the white flag. I had just taken 2 to go. Went down in turns 1 and 2, and off the exit of turn 2, the engine, it felt okay. It didn't pick up very good off the corner, and I just kind of wondered if I maybe pinched the corner off and lost some momentum and bogged the motor down. So going down the backstretch, looked at the oil pressure, just trying to make sure that everything's okay. Going to turns 3 and 4, rips good into turns 3. And off of turn 4, it kind of did the same thing. It was a little sluggish. And down the front stretch, it got worse. And I could kind of feel it tighten up, and, it was losing power. So I pulled in. When we got back to the trailer after the heat race, we started checking things out, looking for something obvious. No spark. Everything was good with the spark plugs. We cut the oil filter open. Didn't see any metal in there, so everything looked good there. By the time we kind of, looked into everything, it was getting close to feature time, and we made the decision to not bring down our spare car and start in the back of the A main. We only have 1 spare engine right now, and that was in that spare car, so we could have taken the risk of starting in the back and hurting another engine, or getting caught up in wrecks and in other people's mess, and could have tore the car up in the other engine. So we talked to the officials. They said that we would get our start money and our start points, so we felt like the correct decision was to load up and head home. We got back here Sunday morning, got the car washed, got it up on stands, and we were investigating into the engine, and we realized that we had spit a push rod out. So throughout that heat race, the tip of the push rod was getting golded up and burnt off, and the valve was losing lash, and as that was happening, I could kind of feel something happening with the engine off the exit of the turns and not picking up very fast, and then down the front stretch it ended up spitting the push rod out, and that's when I really felt it slow down and kind of it lost the cylinder. So I could feel that pulled in, and so that's what happened. We've been talking to our engine builder. We got the parts on our way. Huge thanks to them. They've been helping us out a ton, so we felt like we made the right decision. We could have had a good finish in the A main and charged up to the front, but we also could have got collected in a wreck and tore up the car, or even hurt the other engine. So you just never know. I felt like we made the right decision, and the speed that we had was great. It's very encouraging, especially on that big and fast of a track. So we're gonna keep working hard here. We're gonna take what we learned there and try to apply it to other tracks and just keep getting better, getting more experience, more laps. And you know, it was very disappointing to have to pull in there on the white flag lap. If we would have won that heat race, we would have made it into the dash, and who knows what could have happened. We would have started in the top 6 of the A main and could have had a shot at a podium finish, top 5, or even a win. You know, you just never know what's going to happen and what situation you'll be put in. But just wanted to fill you in on what happened. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please go like and subscribe, and we will have one more video coming up real soon. We did end up racing Sunday night at a local racetrack around here at the Davenport Speedway. So stay tuned for that video. That video will be coming in the coming days. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.